sure.
We have speed in 5, 4, 3, 2. Where you?
All right, y'all. Welcome back. Always good to see y'all, man. Y'all know when you come here, you gon' it's about inspiration, man.
I'm looking at the wrong camera.
What? Come on, Stan.
Right there, look right here. The camera that has the light on. That one. Right there, right there.
Oh, this is my. Oh, you right. My fault. I'm bugging.
Yes, sir.
So we gonna start there, then we gonna go there. Got you.
Yeah. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's go.
What's going on, y'all? Y'all know what I do, man. We come, we bring people in, we talk about things that's gonna inspire other people, because everybody's story is an inspiration, man, and that's what it's all about. So today, I got my brother, T. Drew. How you feeling there, good sir?
I'm good, man.
Hey,
Happy
man.
to be here.
Hey, I'm happy to have you here, man, because we was talking extensively off camera, and I can't wait for y'all to hear what bro got to say. He got a lot of stuff going on right now. But before we get into any of that, we want to talk about the journey, man. Where you from, and what's some things that helped shape you in your younger days?
Oh man. Well, thank you for having me on.
Oh,
man.
anytime, brother.
This is great. I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan, originally. So, Michigan's shaped like a hand. Grand Rapids is right here.
Okay, that's good. That's good information.
Everybody knows Detroit. Detroit's like the biggest city in Michigan.
Right.
Detroit Lions, Detroit Red Wings, etc. Grand Rapids is about an hour and a half from there.
Mm-hmm.
Floyd Mayweather is actually from Grand Rapids.
I was gonna get to that. I was gonna let you finish. Like, I know somebody. I don't know him, but I heard somebody from there.
Devin Booker spent some time in Grand Rapids. So we've produced some people and some cats. But I moved to New York City in 2015 to start grad school after undergrad, and what shaped the journey, man. It's really interesting. When I was a kid, I actually skipped a grade. I was identified as like a gifted and talented child. So
GT.
Yeah, I was one of those like super hyperactive kids.
Yep.
I skipped the first grade, but it was really interesting. I was reading full-length chapter books at the age of 3 years old.
Sheesh.
And that actually still informs my curiosity, my thirst for knowledge,
Right.
Et cetera. And one of the main reasons why I'm a serial entrepreneur and I kind of do what I do is when I was 7 years old, I wrote in a book, we had to do kind of like an autobiography in class.
Right.
And they asked what you wanted to be when you grow up.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote that I wanted to be an entrepreneur and that I wanted to own 7 businesses and that I love New York City and that I love basketball and that I love reading.
Damn.
And so, I've done my thing. I played college basketball. I live in New York City, and that was at 7. So when you talk about the journey, I kind of knew what I wanted the journey to be, and before I started the journey.
Yeah, that's crazy. 7 years old, having the foresight to say you want to be an entrepreneur is, in this day and age, you can see it. Because a lot of people, they put that on their kids. But at that time, when you were 7, that wasn't like a thing. Like people saying they wanted to be an entrepreneur. Where did you get that from? Is that something that you got in the house? Where did the reading?
Yeah, so my mother was an entrepreneur. My father was an entrepreneur. And crazy enough, my father was adopted. Adoption is very important in our family. My little sister, we also adopted. My father was adopted. And my father has been an entrepreneur his whole career. And when he met his birth father, I believe he was like in his late 30s, I think early, mid 40s, maybe a bit later than that.
Mm-hmm.
He had no idea, but he found out his father, his birth father, was also a serial entrepreneur, extremely successful entrepreneur. So it's just the DNA, man. And I remember when I was a kid, kids are like, I want to be an astronaut.
Yeah, NBA player.
NBA, and I love basketball, right? And sports, but I was obsessed with that word and what it meant.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just so curious and I picked up things so quick. I was always the type of child, I had visions, I had dreams, I wanted to do things, I wanted to build things, and that's what that word meant.
Right.
And so the funniest part about that passage is I spent all this time, because I was so obsessed with the word entrepreneur and what that meant. I spelled the word entrepreneur right, but I said I want to be an entrepreneur and own 7 business.
no ES, no apostrophe S, nothing.
Yeah, I spelled the word entrepreneur right, but I said I want to be an entrepreneur and own 7 business. So like, this was just like my mom was a professional model, a flight attendant. She had her own radio show. She wrote a fashion column in the biggest newspaper in our city. She had an image consulting business. All these things. My mom was like, she was like Oprah without the notoriety. She's brilliant. Right. And my father, you know, built and scaled his own law firm, you know, for 40 plus years. And then my late uncle produced Moesha and the Proud Family. Mm-hmm. And my other late uncle was a serial entrepreneur as well. He did events and he was involved in restaurants and he had a security company and all these things. So,
how did you feel about that? Like, I know now you see the importance that had in your life. When did you realize the importance of it when you were growing up? Like, at what point did you say, like, this isn't normal? Because when you're in it, you probably feel like, nah, this is what everybody's family's like when you're young, because you don't know any better. But as you get older, you start to see, man, everybody's family situation isn't like this.
Yeah, experience and exposure. This is the reason why I really urge people to get around as many people as they can, experiment as much as they can, run towards things, especially things that make them uncomfortable, so they can figure out who they are and what they gravitate towards. Because when you get out into the real world, specifically a place like New York City, 8 million people on an island, you really start to realize, especially coming from the Midwest, and in my specific case, how lucky I was having a 2-parent household, having parents that I could look up to, not only from an academic and intellectual perspective, but from a love that they had for each other perspective and the love that they gave me. Mm-hmm. And also, when you get older, you realize that everything is perspective and a mindset. And when you're a child is when that mindset is molded.
That's right.
So my mother and father knew that specifically. So, and I have these memories etched in my brain. This is why my subconscious is the way that it is. But every single night before I would go to sleep, my mom would tell me I was brilliant, that I could do anything I could put my mind to. Mm-hmm. If I wanted to be an astronaut, the president, whatever. And this is every single night. You're so smart. You're so talented. You're so amazing. You do anything you put your mind to. And the only thing that my parents were incredibly strict about was education. Mm-hmm. Anything else I told my parents I wanted to do or that I believed in, it never was you can't, it was how can you?
Right.
And how can we get you there?
Mm-hmm.
And that is the perspective. And so when I talk to people about it, I'm like, you really want to go back and try to revisit what made you excited as a child. If you're trying to look for clarity and self-awareness, try to understand what you should be doing, what lights your soul on fire.
Right.
But, you know, the older I got, the more I realized my childhood was a privilege. Yeah. So when I look back at my childhood, you know, obviously it wasn't sunshine and roses. I didn't fit in. I got bullied, you know, that type of thing.
Like typical stuff.
Typical nerd. Yeah. But I came from a place where my parents put wings on my back, right? Where so many parents, whether a single or a double parent household, clip their child's wings.
100%.
So I think that's like an important distinction that I learned.
Absolutely. So now, like you mentioned a lot of things in there that I think the people was probably wondering, like, what's going on. So you mentioned you were a serial entrepreneur. Let's talk about the first business or venture that you started, and what did you learn from that first venture that helps you now today?
Oh man, so the first one was when I was in it was either late middle school or early high school. I ran a backyard basketball camp. And
in middle school?
Yeah, and I made T-shirts. It was called Thomas Drew's Backyard Basketball Camp. And orange T-shirts, black letters. I made T-shirts, and I had like a hoop and a small like little half like sport court from the free throw line to the hoop.
Yeah.
At the crib. And the thing I learned about that experience was the importance of individual attention to the consumer. Because what happened with that was I only did that one time, but I had parents of these kids begging my mom and my dad to have me do that camp again. Because another thing I'll add to that is I learned the importance of attention to detail early. Because even though it was in my backyard, and even though it was like outdoors and it wasn't in a gym, my mother made sure that, along with me and my vision of what I wanted to be, she made sure every single touch point of that experience was first class. I had drinks ready, they were cold. I had T-shirts and gear for the kids. I had music playing. I had every single touch point of that experience. Right? And so I learned that there was a reason why these parents were begging me to run that camp again and I didn't do it. That taught me the importance of attention to detail and paying attention to your consumer. Then after that, I started a clothing company with a friend and failed. And that taught me the importance of making sure that you have a piece of a business that you build. Because I was helping out with that business and building that. And this wasn't, no slight to him. I don't even really think he really knew what was going on either. But I was doing all this work with designs and marketing it and just so many things. And I didn't have any skin in the game with the company. I didn't have any ownership of the company. I didn't have any equity. I was just working for free, essentially. And that company failed, but that taught me a lesson. And then before I moved to New York City, I had my own events business, and that did very well. And it was the same thing. I learned about attention to detail and how to deliver an experience and deliver an experience that's attached to a brand. Meaning, if somebody sees T. Drew or hears that he's doing something, there's something that triggers in the mind.
Right.
And like, that's what brand is. Brand isn't marketing. Brand isn't advertising. Brand isn't product. Brand is when somebody says your company or name, how do people feel when they hear that?
Right.
What's the association? That's brand.
Right.
And then when I got to New York, I led a division at a marketing agency. I was given an opportunity for someone that I reached out to, and next thing I know, I had 7-figure budgets, and I'm working on these huge companies doing influencer stuff, and I learned a lot there. And then I started my wellness company with my co-founder late 2018, early 2019, and that company has been a winding road. And I've learned, the main thing that I've learned from this company is that the most brilliant thing you can do is just not quit. I think Jay-Z said that.
Yeah.
But that's the main thing that I learned from building this wellness company is just learning about myself, how much I can take. And, I'm like a cockroach. Like, you can't kill me.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean?
You should be a cockroach, man. Like, when you in it and you love it and you got passion and purpose for it, that's what it has to be.
Yeah, and then, I raised money for this business. We've been through 2 to 3 different business models. We've driven substantial revenue. We were able to negotiate a 7-figure deal with one of the biggest companies in the world, which went under, and all these things, right?
Let's stay right here. Talk about all that, because you said a lot, and I'm like, you got me intrigued. I'm sure the people out there intrigued. Like, first off, what's the company, and how did you what made you go into the wellness space and then go from there about strictly the wellness company? Yeah,
so the company's called 1 and 1, the number 1 A&D 1. Our slogan and shtick is 1% better together. That's how we believe that habit formation and goal setting and personal change is achieved. And the company had that mission, but we started as a clothing company and then dabbled in supplements, and now we're a technology company. And we built a version of a habit forming and goal setting app that we put in the market that was doing decently well and people liked it, but then AI hit and it completely shifted how we thought about the business and how we thought about scalability. So we went back into stealth. I hired a new team, and for the past 4 to 5 months, we've been building this new experience, which is AI driven. It's not an AI product. I'm a little bit weary of just AI products for AI's sake, because I think the big AI behemoths can just take you out.
Right.
We're creating an experience that has AI contextually within, but it's focused on helping you discover the right lanes to achieve your habits and goals amongst other people. And in a situation where you're no longer doing it by yourself, and it's kind of like a rising tide, lifts all ships type of situation, but through technology and very personalized, very low cognitive load, very frictionless experience, and it's innovative. It's reminiscent of some of the things that you may like, if you're using things like TikTok or Instagram or Reddit or some of these things. But I'm excited because it's innovative, and we're really trying to flip wellness on its head and create a piece of technology not only that makes you feel better after you use it, but that you want to use.
Right.
Because so many products and pieces of technology in the wellness space are designed in a way where it isn't really high retention and users don't really have a reason to come back and use it.
Right.
So that's what we're building now. And then another story is another company I started in 2020, which is a crazy story that I brought in a CEO for, that I founded, and he's running that business, and that business is doing well. So all of these things are what I've learned. But the wellness thing specifically, because of how I grew up, and because it's a combination of three things. One is, I know that you can go far alone, but you can go much further together in the presence of other people.
Right. And
habit formation and goal setting and lifestyle change is 30 to 40% more effective when there's community frameworks in place and accountability. And in our community specifically, but in tons of other communities, it's not about pills, it's not about shortcuts, it's about continuous incremental improvement consistently.
That's right.
And it's about having the right rituals, and it's about making it a lifestyle. And it's how do you do that?
Right.
And so if I can help people do that, if I can give people a tool and a platform to do that and make it fun and make it easier for them and make it so they can do it with other people, I am making an incredible impact, hopefully.
Oh,
right?
yes.
And so that's the main reason why my co-founder and I haven't allowed the company to die. It's the main reason why we've worked so hard to make it better and have focused so much on the pivot, because this company is my bet, our bet of us making the biggest impact to the most amount of people while I'm here, that doesn't have to do with like my personal platform.
Right. I like that. Like, and that's powerful, bro. Like, that's some powerful stuff. So explain the pivots. Because you said it started off as a t-shirt company, you said?
Yeah, apparel.
Originally it was apparel, wellness apparel. And then how hard was it for you to pivot once you got into that? Like, 'cause for a lot of people, pivots are hard. They feel like they're quitting. They feel like, I've heard people say, I feel like I'm quitting when you pivot. Like, explain the process for you.
Well, pivoting isn't quitting. It's responding to signal.
Right.
And, a winner is nothing but a loser that only tried one more time. So, and there's so many successful cases of pivots. I'll give you one that, some people may not know, but the company called Slack, where people do, $25, $30 billion company, I think, the preeminent piece of technology that people use for internal work communication. The founders of that company, they raised $17 million, I believe, to build a video game. And that failed. But they were like, we built this internal tool to communicate while we were building this video game, and we really like this internal tool. So instead of just killing the company and saying, oh, cool, big swing, like, let's get this one more shot.
Right.
That internal tool became Slack. And that became a $25 billion company. They didn't close the company. They didn't start a new entity. They just followed the signal.
Right.
And so vision and mission is important. How you get there should be up for debate.
Right.
And our vision and our mission at the company was always to improve people's lives, physically, mentally, spiritually. That was the story behind the clothing. But once we kind of realized that I didn't really want to create like a Gymshark, and I also just had, I ended up getting PTSD from the experience. I put in orders for clothes, got bad batches back, wrong color, that just went through so much, right? And then in that period, I was learning how truly scalable technology really was. And it was, if I'm gonna make the biggest difference for the most amount of people, along with me seeing what was going on, this was back in, 2018, 2019 with mental health and just the consensus of the world, I'm like, I think we can make a bigger impact with technology. And there's a gap there. And so that's what led to that pivot. And then when we created the first version of our technology, as I said, this was a bit pre-AI. And, I was an AI nerd. I was playing around with AI stuff in, 2015, 2016. And, but I saw what happened and I'm like, okay, we need to take a step back and make sure that we can build something that can grow on this AI curve.
Right.
Because if we build something that cannot do that, we're going to get left behind.
Right.
And these solutions are going to be better. So in my experience, I've learned that pivots happen when you listen to the market and when you listen to data and trends and consumer feedback, and that's what should dictate the pivot. Businesses and entrepreneurs fail not when they run out of money, but when they run out of energy.
Right.
And when they run out of conviction.
Right.
So if you don't have conviction on the mission, and if the pivot in what you're doing doesn't give you conviction, then yeah, you should hang it up. Mm-hmm. So that's what I believe.
That's fine. Let's get back to 1-in-1. So now what stage are we at right this moment? Like, where can the people go out and get it? 1-in-1, what's going to be an app? Mm-hmm. Break down how you're bringing it to market.
Yeah, so it's going to be an app. It's going to be a platform. Right now, we're building a wait list. So you can go to 1in1life.com, the number 1, and1life.com. Sign up for the wait list. It's free. We're building the wait list. It's growing. And what we're doing now is we're getting ready to gradually let people in from that wait list for a private beta experience, so you can be one of the first people to use our first version of the product, give us some feedback, have us ask you some questions, so that we can continue to make something that people actually want to use.
Right.
That's another thing I learned in building technology and products. It's so easy to build something that people don't want, and it's really hard to build something that people want. And there's a process to doing that. And so now, we're building that out. There's a consumer side to what we do and an enterprise side. So we're holding user interviews and we're understanding where the gaps are. And so signing up for that wait list not only gives you early access when we do come out of private beta, but we'll be able to pick and choose people that we can, let in to give them the first taste of, our first experience with like a few features that we've really, really thought through, so we can understand like, okay, is this really bringing you value or not?
Right.
And then, we'll slowly and thoughtfully roll out something that people actually like using and that truly brings them value.
Right. So for the people, what exactly is 1-in-1 going to be, for layman's terms, like the easiest, well put way you could do it in 2 minutes? Like, okay, it's gonna be an app where you can go on and it's gonna help you. This is what I'm thinking. You tell me if I'm right or wrong. You're gonna be able to go in the app. It's gonna be able to help you achieve things you want to achieve. It's gonna give you this is what I'm thinking. You know what it is, but this is what I'm thinking based off of things I've saw. You can go in the app. It's gonna help you. Like, for me personally, I want to do a TV show. I'm doing it right now, but I want to do a TV show and I want to scale that TV show. It's gonna give me tools to help scale that TV show and get me where I need to be in that journey. That's what I'm thinking. How right am I?
Yeah, you're warm. So think a very, very personalized experience where you're able to tell the app what you want to do, where you want to go, but at the same time, it's learning who you are, and it's presenting to you communities and habits and goals for you to join and contribute to with other people.
Right.
And on the other side, if you're a leader and if you're somebody that's curating these goals and communities and you're curating these groups, we give you a platform and technology to make that less frictionless, more seamless, easier, and to give you the ability to really run and own and galvanize your IP and how you want to lead people and what you, so think like, you know, if you're running a meditation group, if you're doing strength training, if you're doing financial literacy, if you're trying to drink more water, if you're trying to read more, these communities, these experiences, these things are all part of the 1% Better Together, the 7 dimensions of well-being. And you will be able to, as a user, discover the things and the goals and the habits, no matter how big or small, that are the right fit for you at the right time.
Like, that's fire. Like, that, it's just fire, bro. That's applicable to most people. If you're trying to do something better with your life, the app sounds like it can help you do that.
Yeah.
And you don't get that. Usually, most times, you aren't getting too many apps that are helping you.
They're not helping you, and they don't meet you where you are.
Right.
So everybody's different. Everybody's wellness journey is different. Everybody moves at a different pace. But compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world, and it's really hard to engineer that, though. And I've spent so much time, energy, and effort reading all the books and the psychology and understanding like how habits are formed. And it comes down to momentum, community, and accountability. And how do you engineer that at scale with personalization and artificial intelligence and the team that we're creating that is allowing us to house and learn from data the right way is what's going to allow us to do that at scale.
Fire. Like, it's exciting for me on this end, but we gonna get out of here, y'all. Tell them where you can get all your information for 1&1.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at It's T Drew, ITSTDREW. The company stuff is there. 1&1 on Instagram is 1&1 app, so the number 1 A&D app, APP. And yeah, you can join the wait list, follow along. We're gonna be gradually releasing some stuff, but it's gonna be thoughtful and it's gonna be cool. So.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. We're gonna see y'all and look for the exclusive footage coming afterwards, because this interview's not over, but this is all we're gonna show y'all for right now, but you can see it on YouTube and all the extra stuff. So thank y'all for tuning in, T. Drew. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate you, my brother. And we ain't done yet. This is only, look, we gonna sign out, but we gonna be right back. So cut that tape in there, man. Stop it, and then we're gonna restart. So that's for the TV version, and that's pretty much